Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Donna. And for those of you who are not, thank you so much for continuing to come back to my channel and support me and love on me. And I appreciate every single one of you so very much for clicking on my video. I know that you don't have to, so it warms my heart so much that you do. Today is my new video in my Palette Roulette series, and in it we will be going over the Saharan 2 by Juvia's Place. Before we get started, I want to say something really quick. As you guys are watching this, I am starting a new venture. I am flying out to Las Vegas today and training with a new company. I quit my job. I gave it 3 weeks notice and quit my position at Starbucks, and will be out of town all week in training for this new position. And it is such an opportunity for me and such a great change for my family. And all of the videos this week are going to be, they're already uploaded and ready to post. But I may be slow on the draw for getting back to your comments. I probably won't post a video on Friday and post instead a Get Ready With Me on Sunday that kind of talks about my experience and how everything is going in this new position that I will have had for 1 week at that point in time. So let's go ahead and get started talking about this palette. This is the Juvia's Place Saharan 2 palette, and last week we went over the Tribe palette. This was a fairly new palette to my collection. It is one that I had only used a couple of times before pulling it for my Palette Roulette, and I was super excited about it because Juvia's Place does have one of my very favorite formulas. Irregardless of whether they're mattes or shimmers, they're just fantastic shadows. This is what the exterior of the palette looks like. All Juvia's Place shadows, notice my nails, how pretty are those? All of Juvia's Place palettes have beautiful artwork on them, and then you open them up and they have some artwork on the inside too, just like this like motif thing going on. And then this is what the palette looks like. It is a wonderful, like, warm tone for the most part palette, and I just really love this palette. I will say that the pans are all very big. Pans are all really big, which helps with using these products on your face as well. Like if you wanted to, you could use this as a bronzer. It does have kind of like a really orangey tone to it. Or this one, that one's a little more terracotta though. I wouldn't personally use it as a bronzer, but you could use that one as a blush. It is super pigmented. They all are super pigmented, so you would have to go in with a super light hand. But you could also use that as a highlight. Like there's just so many options that you can do or use a Juvia's Place regular size palette for because the pan sizes are so big. Alright, I'm not really sure how many grams of product is in this palette because it's not listed on the packaging. It's probably listed on the original box that it came in, but I probably still have that original box because I'm a hoarder and I keep everything and I have all the original boxes for my products. But I wasn't going to go into my box stash and dig it out. I can say that there are 9 pans of foundation. Where does that come from? There are 9 pans of color in here. These 2 rows here are all shimmers, and this row here is all mattes. With that being said, I don't find that there's a whole lot of variation that you can do with this palette. It's probably one of my least favorite Juvia's Place palettes, if I have to be honest. This eye look that I have going on today is pretty much the only eye look I could come up with out of this palette. Just different variations of the color in it. I did have like a blue brown look that I did one day too, but like there's just not a whole lot of variation in this palette for looks. It it's an okay palette. It's just not, I mean, it's a great palette. Don't get me wrong. It's a great palette. It's just not my favorite. This color here looks like it should be really, really kind of like a brick red color. And it just is a lot more pink than I really wanted it to be. And this color here would be an amazing brow bone color, like a wonderful shimmer brow bone color if it wasn't as golden as it is. It comes off a little more green almost in the brow bone, which is weird to me. So let's go ahead and talk about the shades in this palette. I am going to, because this palette is yellow and the writing underneath the shades for the names is white, it's really hard to see. So I'm going to try and do this. We're going to see. I'm going to zoom you guys in. Okay, so this shade right here is called Marrakesh. It is a beautiful, like, peachy golden shimmer. So it's got a little bit of a duochrominess to it. This one here is called Aziza, and it is a white with a gold shift to it. So a nice, like, champagne-y, yellow champagne-y colored shimmer. This one here is called Hadia. It is a nice coppery orange shimmer color. This blue right here is such a pretty blue. It is called Berber. It is probably my favorite shimmer teal ever. It is such a pretty color. This next one here is a really pretty, like, rose color with a shift to gold, and it is called Nomad. This one here I can't even begin to pronounce, so I'm not going to pretend to, but it is a really pretty, like, light blue in the pan, and then you put it on your eyes and it just transforms to this, like, seafoam green color. It is such a pretty color, and it goes really, really well on top of this one here. This next one here is called Fez. It is a matte deep brown color. This one here is called Zara. It is a matte, what appears to be brick red, but actually is this, like, fuchsia color here. And then this one here is called Taza, and it is like a warm brown color, almost like a burnt orange color. The palette is really nice. It's great to work with, but like I said, these are the only 3 mattes in there. So every eye look that you do, if you are sold on putting a matte into your crease, has to incorporate these colors here, and therefore almost every single eye look looks very similar, if not the same. I only got a couple pictures, and the reason why I mentioned that I was changing jobs at the beginning of this video is because of the picture situation. So I loved using this palette, and I did, you know, create a different look every single day, and the shimmers are beautiful. But by the time I got around to being able to take a picture of myself with these shadows on my eyes, I had destroyed my makeup for the day. It was a very emotional week for me. I did a lot of crying, which I don't typically do. So I didn't really know. I tried super hard not to cry. And some of the days I did really well, and therefore you got a picture. Some of the days I also was able to come home, reapply some things that looked like they had, you know, melted away in my emotional state, and then take a picture. But I think I only got 3 days worth of pictures, to be honest, and I'm filming this a day early so that I have time to edit and get it uploaded prior to leaving on Monday morning on a plane to Vegas. So with that being said, there aren't very many pictures of me in this palette. And like I said, I don't mind the palette. It's just probably not my favorite Juvia's Place palette. Not only was this red not red, but more pink, It also was super scratchy in the pan. Like it's just got a really textured feel to it. But look, when you swatch this, it looks like it should be a nice red color, but then you just put it on and start blending it out, and it just turns into this pink. I wish it had been more red. I wish this one had been a deeper brown. And the reason why I say that is because once it and this one are on your eyes, which I've got both on my eyes today, they kind of just swim together and become one color. This is a really, really beautiful color. Probably my favorite in the palette. It just transforms any look. It went really well with these colors. It could be like this really pretty bronzy color. It went also really well with this color. It would transform to like a rose gold color, which looked really, really awesome. I wish this was a little less gold. I would have probably used it in my brow bone every single day, but the first day I used it in my brow bone, it kind of came out more green than anything else, so I had to quit using it in my brow bone. And I love a nice pretty white champagne-y shimmer in my brow bone, but I like it to be champagne-y and not quite as yellow golden. This one surprised me. This one and this one, easily my two favorite colors. Well, I can't say that because I love like these three, these four. This whole row and this color here, I could have used every single day. I love them so much. They are so pretty. I did a look with this on the inner and outer corners of my eyelid and this one in the halo. Oh, so pretty. Anyways, it's a decent palette. Juvia's Place is an amazing company, and you can get their palettes for super inexpensive because they go on sale all the time, and I think to begin with they're only $20, and you get a lot of product for that $20. They're gonna last forever. So with that being said, I would totally, oh, now my hand is stained. Do you guys see this? This is another thing. Like, the pigmentation is so amazing on these shadows. It doesn't matter if you use an eye primer or not. These shadows they stay really well, and they will stain your eyes. Just saying. All of them. The blue is probably the worst. I had kind of like this blue tint to my eyes for a couple of days. The red is also pretty bad, but you guys, these are not bad shades. It's just probably not my favorite Juvia's Place palette because of the fact that there are only 3 mattes in it. The one matte isn't as red as I want it to be. The other two, the two browns are really, both really warm tone browns. I think I might actually prefer like a cooler tone brown and that red to be really super red. I really did like this palette. I'm glad to be moving on. For those of you new around here, I use what's called the Decide Now app. I have a Samsung Note 9. I got it from the App Store. You could probably pick up like any Wheel of Fortune type app from any app store that you guys have, the Play Store, the App Store, whatever it is. So I picked mine up from the Play Store from Android phones. I just named the wheel, put all of my palettes into this wheel, and then to pick a new palette, you just press this middle button right here and you start to spin. All right, it looks like it picked the Natasha Denona Star palette. Have we used that one yet? I don't think that we have. I think that we used the Lila, right? Let me go get that. This is the Natasha Denona Star palette. For those of you who have not seen it, this is what it looks like on the inside. I think this is a good, safe palette for me for my first week away on business. I may pack some single shadows so that I can play with more color than what this is going to allow me to play with. So I may do that. But I'm excited to use this palette. I'm excited. So I will come back to you guys next week and let you know how this palette panned out for me. Hopefully it pans out well. I love Natasha Denona shadows. I know that their longevity is fantastic, but I haven't played with this palette much, so I'm hoping that I don't look like an idiot using this palette. That's it for today. Thank you guys so much for joining my channel and watching my video, and I hope that you liked it enough that you're considering giving it a big thumbs up. I also hope that you're considering subscribing to my channel. Hopefully you like the content, or really liked me enough that you're considering subscribing to my channel so that you can be here next week and listen to what I have to say about the Natasha Denona Star Palettes. Thank you guys again so very much for coming and visiting me today. Please leave me some comments down in the comments section. Let me know what you're liking about this series and what you would change if it were you. I really do enjoy doing these. They're probably one of my least watched video series. It is my least watched video, but I really enjoy doing it. So I'd love to know what you guys would want to change about it. So until next time, guys, bye.